So what we need to do next is know that there are some basic properties to use with logs. Now, in this video, I'm just going to kind of summarize these properties. I'll make some videos at another point where I explain more of the reasoning behind it, but I just want to get kind of a list of all the properties that you should know in order to be able to solve equations using logs. The first thing you want to know is how to actually pronounce an expression like this, because it's really important that you understand what the base is, what the argument is, because that becomes really important when we're solving equations. So if we have an expression such as this is log base b of m equals n. So we have the different parts of the log. So we've got the base b. We've also got the argument. And then we've got our answer, which is our exponent, if we put it in exponential form. It's really important to note that when we're solving the equations, the argument always has to be greater than 0. And in another video, I'll talk about the graphs of log functions and get you a little better understanding of why that is. But for now, just know that the argument can't be 0 or a negative number. So first thing, basics of logs, going between log form and exponential form. Make sure you're very fluent in that so that you understand how to go back and forth between the two. So if we have y equals b to the x, we know that translates to log base b of y equals x. Now, we talked about inverse operations. So these two rules come from the fact that logs and exponents are inverse operations. So if I have x and I'm raising it to the power of b, I can undo that by taking log base b, and I'm right back to x. Also, if I have log base b of x, I can undo that by making it the exponent of base b, and I'm right back to x. Then I've got the three main properties that we've gone over and that you have probably seen in your class: the product property, the quotient property, and the power property. A couple things I want to emphasize here is that for the product and the quotient property, you're getting it down to one log. You're condensing it to one log. So you want to make sure when you use these properties that you only have one log when you condense it. Couple more rules. Change the base rule. This is really necessary when you have a calculator where you can't change the base, such as some scientific calculators or your phone calculators, or if you're using a graphing calculator and you just don't know how to change the base, this comes in handy. We also have our common log, which is just log base 10. So remember that when you don't see a base, the base is there, we just don't write it, it's a base of 10. Also know that when you see the ln, that's natural log, and that just means log base e. That's it. So don't overcomplicate it, don't let that throw you off, it's just log base e. So these are all properties that you should be pretty familiar with as we go into solving equations, because we'll be using these properties as we solve.